So yeah, very important.
Honestly, it just got to the point where I got tired of hearing myself complain about all of my insecurities and, my body. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna try to work out more regularly because, I'm stuck at home anyways and I have all the time that Velas permits me. So yeah, I started working out really, really frequently. It got to the point where I would work out 5 times a week. And then I would usually do like random workouts that I would find online, but then my cousin actually introduced me to Lilly, who is this British workout guru. And honestly, like from all of the workout YouTubers that I've like followed and like done before, Lilly is like honestly the best one because she is so uplifting, she's so bright and so cheery. She's a physical therapist. But then it got to the point where it's just like, I keep seeing her talk about her challenges in the videos. Maybe I should do it. It could like, it could help, So yeah, so I decided to do it because quarantine, free time. I got tired of complaining about myself, so I did it. My tummy is kind of squishy and also that was one of my insecurities. And my my legs are my favorite part of my body, so I just wanted to enhance it, but yeah, I'm scared it'll like bite me. It keeps circling. I know I'm a snack, but I'm not food for you. There's another one. Okay, whatever. Okay, so I had a lot on my plate these past 2 weeks, so don't really know why Amber from 2 weeks ago chose to start it then when Velas the university that I go to, not Rolls, decided to drop a bunch of just a bunch of stuff. And yeah, I realized like, hey, I'm just making up a bunch of excuses, and I don't want to do that anymore. I got tired of it, so decided to push through. Literally took it day by day, even though I would have to work out like late at night at some points. I had this rule for myself where like my thighs couldn't surpass like the width of the pinky and my thumb and stuff. So I would always like sit down, right? You know how your thighs just go like meh? But I would do that, like, you can't see it, but I would do that. And if it surpassed, I would just like, you need to stop eating so much, Amber. You need to eat less. You need to not eat at all.
I think the main problem lies within the beauty standards society holds over all of us, most especially women. Every time I looked in the mirror, I would be frustrated with what I saw. I wasn't lean or slender, definitely not curvy, nor was my face that capturing. I spent a handful of years hating myself, wishing I could look like the girls I constantly saw on Instagram. I grew up in a mostly white neighborhood, surrounded by girls who were naturally thin and didn't have to watch what they ate. In all honesty, it got to the point where I wished I were white instead of Asian. And as old as I am now, it's still easy to forget the things many of us post on Instagram are filtered, capturing all the right angles that complement our body. I spent the majority of my teen life in the Philippines, whose beauty standard was even more inclusive compared to California. During my freshman year of high school, I wasn't even that conscious about my body until I noticed how my male classmates commented on girls' bodies. And to be blunt, it was really disgusting. One of my classmates even came up with a nickname for me that literally focused on how small my boobs were. Fast forward to the 10th grade, I had gotten used to not eating or drinking anything during school hours. There was this one time I vomited a couple of hours after school because I hadn't eaten anything but a bag of Skyflakes all day. After that incident, I made the commitment to start actually eating. However, instead of starving myself, it went to purging, which only lasted for a few weeks. Fast forward to my first year of college, the whole freshman 15 thing wasn't a joke, and it was pretty clear that it wasn't. By the time I had moved back to the Philippines because I shifted courses, the amount of comments I received about my new physique really hurt me. I know people didn't really mean to offend me or anything, but it was the first time in a long time where I actually ate consistent, regular meals. And it was almost as if people liked me better when I starved myself or purged. I think we've all been subconsciously conditioned to judge people based on their appearance. We're all human after all. We have a limited circle of people that we actually know personally, which doesn't really give us much room to judge or critique people that simply walk by, other than what they display. And in this day and age, apps like Instagram make it almost impossible to do so. There's so much time and energy spent on people's bodies. Waist trainers, vigorous workouts, protein shakes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all as a result of the pressure we subconsciously put on ourselves to look a certain way. Personally, I think America's taken a good step forward in terms of being more inclusive with beauty standards, men and women of all shapes, sizes, and colors, relative to many Asian countries such as the Philippines. If you look at Filipino celebrities, they generally have very similar types of beauty, mixed, typically Western features such as light to fair skin or a tall nose. And one of the reasons why I dislike K-pop so much is because of their extremely unhealthy beauty standards. Filipinos idolize white skin and have normalized bleaching their skin to achieve it. For those of you who don't know, K-pop stars are trained in camps from a young age and are slowly filtered out over the years, burdened with completely irrational diets, one of which I wanted to follow in my high school days, where you would eat nothing but 2 tablespoons of rice and a glass of water for the entire day. So to everyone watching this right now, please, please, please remember that the celebrities you see online have the money to get their features done and maintained. More often than not, the bodies you see are unnatural, which is why I find it astounding that people still find individuals like Kylie Jenner or Kim Kardashian attractive. They literally bought their physique. I don't mean to play the I'm a med student card, but please try and understand that having hips that look that way are completely unnatural. Just compare it to this anatomical model that I found. My only problem with cosmetic surgery is when celebrities promote themselves saying that it's all natural, setting the standard for both men and women to something that is achieved through expensive or even detrimental means. I don't want to get too into it, but you get the gist of it. For guys most especially, please stop treating women like a customizable toy, saying things like, yeah, she's pretty, but her blanks are too blank. And honestly, I'd say the same thing to girls, but we're a lot more accepting when it comes to the male physique. So in terms of the results, I was honestly kind of disappointed because I was low-key expecting to see a drastic kind of change. But nevertheless, I'm very proud of myself for getting through this 14-day challenge. I wanted to quit by day 4. If 2020's year-round quarantine has taught us anything, it's that we're stuck with our body. Of course, that goes without saying, but we all tend to take our body for granted. Our souls are stuck to this fleshy cage until the day we die, and we might as well start learning how to love what we're stuck with. With all that being said, reprogramming is never too late. I should note that there's a fine line between body positivity and promoting an unhealthy lifestyle, but I won't get into detail. After all, love requires discipline. Self-love requires discipline. And in the grand gist of it all, people's bodies change. I saw this one post a few months ago that said, even if we ate the same food and did all of the same exercises, our bodies would still look different. The standards we have of beauty today limit and block the capacity to even consider individuals who are different as beautiful. Though it'll take a lot of work, it's up to each and every one of us to shift that mindset into believing the differences we all have are the very things that make us beautiful.